for me, you're the one that I remember from one conference.
Yeah.
But it wasn't very crowded,
And we scheduled before.
We did schedule before.
Yeah.
That's true.
But he approached me. You don't remember that?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Through LinkedIn.
Did you like check the history or?
I remember.
Okay. So Maja, first of all, I want to focus on building the international sales. I know you have a lot of experience valuable for many entrepreneurs. You're also tomorrow on the stage. But let's come back to the moment when we invested. So you have a great product that delivers value, that works with huge companies like InPost. You get some money from VCs and a strategic advice that you need to get 3x growth and 50% revenue from international. And what do you do next?
You go to LinkedIn and you write to your prospects. Exactly like Nico said, matchmaking tool is one thing, but what we did at the very beginning, we just used LinkedIn and we approach our prospects. It's important kind of to know who do you sell to. I think this is the crucial part, right? To know who's your persona, who should you actually talk to, who should you approach, and you do it. This is how you start building sales, actually. Simple.
So who did that?
I did that.
Okay.
Every founder should do it at the very beginning.
So how did you define your persona? How did you kind of filter out to whom you are supposed to reach out?
Yeah, like we made a lot of mistakes, of course, because that's how you learn. And of course, we can talk about stuff from here and you're going to make mistakes anyway. And yeah, I heard all the advice before, but if you don't try, if you don't kind of make a mistake. So first of all, like we made the first mistake is that we started out of Poland selling to Polish customers. So we kind of learned with this mistake, we kind of learned something about our persona, right? Like we learned that, for example, we're trying to sell to marketing. It wasn't kind of sustainable. And then we kind of changed our persona to customer service, to operations. That's like directors of operations are our best persona. And that's how we started approaching them outside of Poland.
Mm-hmm. What was different in getting the leads to get engaged?
Language.
Apart from that?
It's not really that different, to be honest. Like, I believe that we just don't do it because we are somehow, I don't know, afraid, scared of international markets. And you just do it. It's simple. Just write to those people, and that's it. But you need to have something to offer, right? Like there needs to be value, and it needs to be obvious in the first sentence of your approach, right? So it's like FOMO of investors. Like you have to build this kind of FOMO with your prospects as well, because like why should they care? Like why should they care? If you're a SaaS platform, blah blah, for whatever, like no, what will you do for me? Like what's in there for me? This is super important.
Was there anything, because you tried like multiple things, were there any ones that you kind of remembered, okay, when I did this, it finally started converting at a better rate or basically started working?
Like you cannot just write to, 5 people. It's about the scale. And as you Michał know, like we have kind of machine for sales development. So we use multiple tools. And we actually started like that. Like, of course, first of all, we had some experiments, just approaching people on LinkedIn, but then we added email. We used those kind of tools that I can highly recommend you, like Apollo, for example. Polish Growbots also works pretty well. There are some other tools like Sales Loft Outreach. They help you kind of send emails, test different messaging and personas as well. And of course, personalize a little bit. And it works. It really works. Outbound works.
You mentioned you have a machine right now. Can you tell a little bit what is the machine? Like how big is the team?
Yeah. It's, as you know, it's changed. Right now we have, I believe, 6 or 7 people in the sales development team. and it's just sales development team. It's just sales development reps. We also have revenue operations team, like 2 people, and marketing, of course. It all works together. And first of all, like we defined our, I would say, first layer of total addressable market, like the really perfect persona, perfect companies that we want to sell first to. And this is what Ariel discussed as well. Like, where's the best conversion, right? Like, who's really able to kind of buy it quickly, where the sales cycle is short and the ACV is like the highest, I would say. So that's first thing. And we have like 8,000 of those companies. We have mapped out like all the people relevant to us in those companies. So let's say directors of operations, but also customer service directors, stuff like that. So we know who we are targeting, right? So we know who we are sending messages to, and on what kind of segment marketing should work on. So that's like the first thing. You need to know who's out there and how many people you have. And then you can implement tools, right? So you have, let's say, Apollo to send those emails, to schedule campaigns, stuff like that. You need to experiment with messaging, of course. That's the job of, that's my job still. That's job of head of sales development, but that's also job of all the people in the company, because, for example, marketing comes with some insights, or sales team comes with some insights that are helping us to improve. And then you add stuff like LinkedIn, for example, or Twitter. Like, it really depends on the business. You can approach people in many different ways. And then you have sales development reps who are calling, who are answering the emails. Simple.
You mentioned on the changes, and you've been moving the team from Poland to US and back, or like to get to the mix. Can you share the learnings here? Because I think this is something a lot of companies try to do at some point of time. You get more capital, you want to rebuild the team, get more US people on board. How did it work for you?
Yeah, so as Ariel said, they are no better, right, than us. Of course, some of them have more experience, especially in our segment, enterprise B2B. There's not a lot of knowledge in Poland and in the region in general. So, like almost all dream of all the Polish companies is, okay, like, let's hire international team, let's hire the Americans. And right now, like, we are building sustainable businesses, right? Like, we all talk about it, like healthy businesses, sustainable businesses. So the metrics need to be good, right? Like, and let's be honest, the US employees are 3 to 4 times more expensive than Polish or, for example, Serbian. We just hired some Serbians. They are great. They speak English very well. And this is like really, really cool. So yeah, like, we hired also some US employees, especially to the sales development team, and we realized that the metrics are no better than the metrics from the Polish team, actually worse. So, well, it doesn't make any sense. We decided to scale the team in Poland, and yeah, that's it.
How do you recruit SDRs? Like, what is the type of person? Do you need experienced people, or you can teach them fairly quickly?
There's not a lot of experienced people, of course, in our region, so you have to teach them. And actually, sales development reps are usually kind of junior, right? It's like the entry level job before you become an account executive or you go to marketing or whatever. So you need to train them, and you need to probably look for extroverts, of course, English speaking or any other language that you, for example, German or whatever market you are targeting. They just need to like this, I would say. They need to understand what the career path is. I found it super important. So they need to understand, like, they need to know that they, for example, want to grow to the account executive role, or they know that the next step for them is, let's say, marketing. If this is just, like, a job for 6 months and then they want to go whatever, I don't know. It's not gonna work because they need to be passionate about that. They need to want to kind of grow.
What is currently, like with this scale of a team and business, your role in the SDR team? Do you still kind of go into the scripts or listen to the calls? Like, how involved are you?
Yeah, I all the time listen to the calls, both sales, customer success, and sales development. Of course, not all of them, but I think it's pretty important to stay in the loop.
Just to understand, it's like 1 call a day or 10 calls a day?
I would say it's like, in general, I probably spend like 6 hours a week on listening to calls, and I put them on 2x, so it's efficient. Depending on like how fast my people speak. So some of them even 2.5. It works super efficient. So yeah, you need to stay in the loop, I would say. And I'm still like coaching the team. I'm giving them this context. You can just forget about it, right? So I meet with them on regular basis. I kind of give them context from different teams, so they understand what's happening, what's the feedback from the sales team, stuff like that. We also, as Ariel said, like we record all the calls, customer success calls, sales development calls, so they have access to it. So this sales development reps can listen to sales calls and kind of see, okay, I scheduled this call. What's the quality of the lead? And this is super helpful.
Ariel mentioned a lot of KPIs to monitor. For this part of business, what are the numbers you look at, I don't know, daily or weekly?
Meetings booked, SQLs, SQOs, and pipeline generated from sales development.
SQOs stand for?
Sales qualified opportunity.
So
let's not go into definition because there are so many definitions of SQL and SQL. And Karina, with whom I worked a few months, like we went through it, and it's still not that obvious. But it's like, let's say, opportunity says for itself, right? Like if we agree, the sales rep, sales development rep agree that, okay, this is a potential deal, really. It's in the market to buy, stuff like that. This is SQL.
You mentioned on the marketing part of team, like how do you coordinate the SDR's activity with what you do in marketing, also having in mind that you have certain number of account executives that need to have like someone to sell to?
This is a constant struggle of every company that's outbound first. But at the very beginning, the role of the marketing is mainly to support outbound team. That was the case for us. So the goal of the marketing is to look to make the company look much bigger and much mature than it really is. So that's the first thing, because if you have like 3 customers, why should anyone buy from you, right? So it needs to look like, oh yeah, we are super successful, right? So that's first thing. And then like you really focus on also nurturing those leads. So they see you before even the sales rep approaches the prospect. So they see ads, they see some content on LinkedIn. When they check on you, like they can tell, okay, this is a major company. It's really something in there for me as a persona. So if I'm targeting operations people, I should have something on the website for them. But the biggest thing between marketing and sales development is ads, and of course list building. In our case, it's not really on marketing, but the cooperation needs to be close because they are targeting the same people. The messaging should be more or less the same. They should align on like really weekly or if not daily basis.
So currently, the KPI to fill the funnel is on the outbound team, not on the marketing.
It's in the company. So, like we want all the teams to work together towards the same goal, whether it's marketing, whether it's sales development, whether it's sales. Like sales team also is generating their own pipeline. So we align on the leadership level, like what the pipeline is and what can we do to make it bigger. And depending on the capacity of the team and whatever, like market conditions, stuff like that, we make decisions.
On the tools you mentioned, was there anything like in the process or in way of doing things you discovered that was a game changer that you wish somebody told you as a suggestion like a year ago?
That mass mailing really works, but don't spam people. Like, give value, really. Probably if you're executives here, like you got a ton of outbound, but for example, how many videos are you receiving? How many like personalized videos are you getting? Like probably once, I don't know, quarter. I get like tens emails every day, and only one. Till now I got like one video only. Video really works. So like, very short loom. If you have something to show, like your product, the value you're gonna bring, show it via video. It works.
You can now mass customize it with AI.
You can mass customize it. Like the one thing that we discovered recently, and we tweaked our machine. So like 80% of the messages and videos are more or less mass, and 20% are personalized, and we kind of change it. So let's say we have 10,000 prospects, and 200 are getting personalized messages, 800 are getting like, mass, and then we change the another 200, stuff like that, and it works.
On that points here, how do you get insights, and from where do you learn how you can improve?
From mistakes, as I said. No, like of course I work with advisors, I work with Ariel, I work with all of my investors, and it's super helpful. I hire good people with whom we make mistakes together. I really believe that you should learn from mistakes. You have to make those mistakes.
Mm-hmm. The less the better, but I think it's inevitable. We have space for like 1 to 2 questions if you have to Maja, and then I have one final point.
I just wonder if you try to do a like PLG product that will just a demo that the customers can try, or are you focusing on SLG?
Yeah, so we have, of course, on the marketing side, we have different tools kind of to nurture the leads. So we do customer service automation, right? One of the like mini products, I would say. It's not really a product, but it's something that we can give to customer is we analyze their past conversations to kind of show them like what's the potential percentage of automation that they can achieve. That's one thing. Another thing is 1 minute chatbot builder that analyzes all your FAQ pages, stuff like that, and generates an automation for you. And it also works pretty well. We are not PLG yet, like real PLG that you can sign up and start with Zowie, because we are more on the enterprise side, right? So the stuff that Daria talked about, like we discovered that our sales cycle is literally the same for 10K deal like it's for 100K deal.
So how do you actually scale the delivery machine? Because you mentioned that you have usually junior, so is that enough knowledge to actually scale it, or do you actually need to bring something outside of the company?
Yeah, you need to have a playbook, right? You need to define a playbook how to onboard those people really quickly, and now we can onboard people like really in 2 weeks, which is sustainable. And I have one advice for you: don't hire any agencies. That's so. If you have an idea, okay, we're gonna outsource outbound, don't do it. That's the worst idea.
So it sounds like you're recording a lot of calls. Do people agree on that? Do you use like some tool like Gong?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we use Gong, and as Ariel said, like really 90% of people don't have any problem with that. I would say 95%. We maybe once, like 1% of calls are not recorded because people have some kind of problem with that. But really, try Gong, try those kind of tools, because it shows it's recorded, but it's not like you don't have to ask for it. When you ask for it, then there is a conversation about it. And so just use Gong.
I think that's something that's very much underutilized as a tool for basically learning what's going on. I remember at Booksy we used to have a selection of calls that was sent to the whole management team so they can listen on the way to the office. It was the times where everybody went to the office. So
and think about like just verifying your new employees, right? Like salespeople, you can be literally on every call, or you can verify if it's true
and it's
or
not
whatever.
suspicious because every call is recorded.
Yeah,
right? So it's not
and
like I
for
wanna
customer
see
success,
your
right? Like
particular call.
once the deal is closed, the customer success team can listen to the sales process and understand, okay, what was really promised and stuff like that. Super helpful.
Maja, a point a little bit outside of the whole generation. Like as we mentioned, like you're one of the few founders that managed to raise a significant amount of money in a relatively short time after starting the company from top US investors. What would you advise to people who want to raise this kind of Series A with top global guys in a year or two from now?
Build a healthy, sustainable business today. And I think the biggest challenge right now is that first you have to build sustainable, healthy business and be like scrappy and efficient. But probably in a year from now or in 2 years, they will expect from you, hey, you need to grow fast and don't forget about healthy business we need to run, right? So you kind of have to find a balance and know, okay, right now I'm being scrappy, I'm like efficient, stuff like that. But where to kind of give the money and spend it if the market changes, and like know your metrics. I think this is super important. Yeah, but it's all been said. So
okay, Maja, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Super happy that you were able to join us, and thanks for openness and all the insights.